You are listening to Comedy Club for Kids presents
Radio nonsense, radio nonsense, radio nonsense, radio nonsense, radio nonsense, radio nonsense, radio nonsense.
Yodelay-hee-hoo to you, and welcome to another Radio Nonsense podcast, this week with an amazing intro jingle from Erin and Georgia. Thank you so much for sending that in, it is properly brilliant. What a perfect way to start this episode of the official Comedy Club for Kids podcast that is suitable for ages 6 to 99, and I've had some of you ask, why do I always have a go at 100-year-olds who listen to this? And I really hope they're not. I hope you're not. If you're 100, stop listening right now. But I don't have a go at the 0 to 5-year-olds who might listen when I've specifically said that it's for 6 to 99. And look, that is a very good question. Thank you for asking. Thank you, thanks. Thanking you, thanks. Well, the thing is, okay, look, shh. But it is actually suitable for everyone aged 0 to 5. But I don't say that because the 0 to 2-year-olds are probably too busy pooing themselves and eating things off the floor to listen. And the 3 to 5-year-olds are too busy doing important things like, running into a wall or trying to look at things upside down or talk to a spider. So I don't want them to think they have to stop their important businesses to listen to this show. No, that wouldn't do. Not in these current times. We very much need everyone who enjoys pooing themselves and eating things off the floor to keep doing that. And we need experts at looking at things upside down and talking to spiders. So if you are 0 to 5... look, you can definitely listen to this show, but only as a break in between pooing for the planet and falling over for no reason for the people. So that's why. Okay? Okay. So, look, I hope you're all doing okay this week with being stuck at home and not at school. And I did think that if you've run out of ways to annoy your gawky, clumsy balloon things with faces, grown-ups, then why not try, every time they ask you to do something, saying, no, this won't do, I demand to speak to your manager. Insist that you'll only speak to the person in charge, and as, your grown-ups tell you they are in charge, insist that you know that's not true, as you saw the manager hanging around outside earlier, and then just point anywhere you might have seen, like a ladybird, or a bee, or any other bug, and definitely say, no, I saw the manager, they were out there, they were sitting in that flower, no, they were like spinning a web, so I know they were very important, and I'll only talk to them. I reckon that should cause at least an hour of confusion, so do have fun with that. Thank you so much for all the questions that you've sent in. We are slowly getting through them, and if you sent a question in, it definitely will be answered at some point, and we would love even more of you to do that too, so do listen to details at the end of the show, and send in anything that you'd like me to find a comedian to answer. But for now, on this show... No. So I am joined today by the brilliant Bec Hill. How are you, Bec?
Oh, I am so good. Just got back from the future. It was pretty awesome.
Whoa, hang on. Sorry, what you've just been... Is that allowed at the moment? Because obviously everyone listening to this is stuck at home and we've been told to stay at home. But can you go to the future while already at home?
Yeah. Obviously, I have to go through some quarantine stuff when I get to the future to make sure that I'm not at risk of endangering anyone else. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty nice out there, actually. It's quite positive. So it's putting me in a good mindset for now.
And what sort of quarantining or what sort of checks they give you when you're in the future? Does it involve robots or, I don't know, poking you with a light? What do they do?
Oh, it's really cool. You go into this big bubble room. It's basically like going inside a bouncy castle, but all the walls are closed. And then they spray this mist, which goes like that. And it smells like cookies. It's really, really nice. And then that's it. That's the quarantine. It just makes sure that you don't have anything, you're not carrying anything. It's really quick.
That's absolutely amazing. But what happens if you're carrying cookies and then the smell of the cookies disguises the cookies you're carrying? Do you get in a lot of trouble?
No, but then afterwards they have sniffer dogs and the dogs want the cookies and then you're not allowed to eat them.
But dogs get cookies, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, the dog gets cookies, so everyone wins in a way.
I think they've got a lot of things really sussed in the future, and I'm very excited about being there. Wait, hang on, how far in the future are you? I mean, I feel like I'm jumping ahead of our question for this week's show, so in fact, let me save some of that because we've got some other things I need to ask you first. As you're on the Radio Nonsense podcast, first of all, I was going to say everyone's stuck at home, but you're not. You're popping to the future and back all the time. But when you are at home, what's your tip for sort of dealing with that, or is it that you just go to the future as and when you like?
Oh, well, I try and I try and keep the future stuff to only on occasion. Otherwise, I might as well move there. So when I'm at home and I'm stuck at home, I find some good tips. I really like drawing. So I've started to draw a lot of things in my house and things I see outside the window, and I play with paint. And one of the things I want to do is make some postcards of things in my house. And so then once I can get to a post box or get someone to go to a post box for me, then I can send some postcards from my house.
And what are the things in your house that you're enjoying drawing, or is there anything you've seen outside your window that you have particularly wanted to draw?
Yeah, there's some nice trees outside my window, which has been really nice. And it's really hard to get the right color of blue for the sky. So I've been having fun drawing lots of different types of skies.
That is pretty good. We outside our house, we've had one slightly angry squirrel. We have had one sleepy cat. We also, at one point, had a man in a yellow vest fix a lamppost, which was like watching the greatest movie of all time.
Oh, that's exciting. That's some good action.
It was pretty good action. And sadly, the three things didn't meet. I would like to have seen an angry squirrel and a lazy cat confront a man fixing a lamppost, but, that will have to happen in my head.
Yeah, well, you could draw it and send it as a postcard.
That's amazing. And who are you sending your postcards to?
I've got some friends and family who have said that they would like the postcards, so I would send it to them. But I might keep some on hold for me and then take them into the future and put them in a museum.
That's such a good idea. And are you writing the postcards like you're on holiday as well? Sort of like,
Yeah.
wish you were here.
Like, wish you were here. That's it.
Been lying in the sunshine coming through my window from our living room.
Yeah. The TV was really great today. Everyone had a brilliant time.
The staff seem a bit grumpy, but otherwise...
The food could be better. That's my fault.
The pool is very small and hasn't been cleaned for a while and is full of bubble bath, but I don't know why. And there's an even smaller pool next to it that makes a flushing sound and smells of poo.
Yeah. And there was a chocolate on my pillow, but I don't know how it got there because there's not been anyone else in my house, and now I'm scared that there's a chocolate ghost.
A chocolate ghost pooing on your pillow. That is disgusting.
Is it disgusting, or is that how they make chocolate bars?
I've never thought about it before. I mean, that could be something that we've uncovered right now. It's a bit like the tooth fairy comes and takes your tooth, gives you £1. Maybe the chocolate ghost... I don't know what they take, but then they leave a little poo on your pillow as a thank you.
Yeah, a chocolate bar.
That's lovely. Well, that's lovely. A little nice thought for all the kids
out there. And then
Nutella
is when they get the runs.
Oh, no. Lovely time. So, well, I look forward to lots of children listening to this, putting all of that on postcards and telling all their friends and family about the chocolate poo ghosts that live in their house. And obviously, Bec, this is an audio podcast for the ears, for the people's ears that go to their brains.
Yes.
And because it's audio, and I know you've been on the show a couple of times before, but I wondered if you've maybe got a new or a different favourite noise that you could tell us about.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I think my new favourite noise is this one.
Oh, my goodness. That was amazing. What was that?
That is my impression of when I turn on my computer, but I also drop it in the bath at the same time.
Well, hang on a second. Why are you using your computer in the bath, or are you using your computer by the bath? Why have you got it so near the bath?
Yeah, I'll put some movies or something on my computer and set it up on a stool next to the bath. But I've now learnt is not only foolish because it could end up with drowning your computer, but very dangerous, and I do not recommend it.
I'm very pleased, but it makes a lovely sound.
Yeah. I make the sounds so that you don't have to.
That's a really good idea. And may I suggest to the kids listening to this podcast, if you do want to hear that sound, maybe keep away from the bathroom, just put your mum or dad's computer in the bath while no one's in it. That's probably the safest way to do it, I think.
Or just rewind and listen to me doing this again.
That's actually probably the safest way. Wow, sorry, I interrupted that. Can you do it again?
Yeah.
That's such a very good noise. It also sounds quite similar to if there was, say, like a robot duck, just sort of like flapping about in a pond.
Aren't all ducks robots?
Whoa.
Oh, wait, I wasn't supposed to reveal that. That's just for future
I,
people to know.
that was
Uh-oh.
quite a big revelation. Is
Just
that why
pretend I didn't say that.
hang on, is that why you're not meant to feed them bread? Does it get like clogged in the system, or
Yeah, that's exactly why. And that's why they
what?
sound like robots. Think about how a duck
Oh my
quacks. No
goodness.
other animal makes a noise like that.
That's incredible. Hang on, so what should we be feeding ducks? Should I be sort of taking some nuts and bolts and things, or just some paper and
Or I was going to say oil. Don't put oil in the ponds. Again, I'm giving very bad advice.
Oh gosh, this is going to end. This is going to cause so much trouble. Okay, this podcast, despite what we've been saying so far, is suitable for everyone aged 6 to 99. No 100-year-olds. Like I say every week, you know it. You know the rules. No 100-year-olds. 101-year-olds, fine. No 100-year-olds. So, but because it's for everyone, Bec, obviously there are no rude
As long
words
as
on
they
this
don't
show.
take my advice.
What was that?
As long as they don't take my advice.
No. I think they will only take the sensible bits of your advice, which we haven't had yet, but maybe at some point during the show. So, as it's for everyone, there's no rude words. What rude word won't you be saying on today's show?
I won't be saying muscle cluck.
Muscle cluck?
Yeah.
Is that like a really beefy chicken?
Yes. Got it
That's
in
very
one.
offensive.
That's exactly what it is. It's a chicken that's eaten too much spinach.
Well, that is. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
very pleased you won't be saying that. That is really
Their
offensive.
drumsticks are massive, though.
Oh my goodness! You can play
Yeah.
all the drums.
Yeah. They've got, when you talk about chickens like pecs, it's not like with their beak. It's actually like, well, they got pecs down there, like abs down their front.
Oh my goodness! And what do they do? Sort of go around bench pressing cows and stuff, or?
Yeah. Sometimes they're like, they can get quite aggressive, so they'll like bully a pig or something.
Wow. Well, I'm very glad you won't be saying muscle cluck on today's show. That is a really horrendous term, and hopefully no one will say muscle cluck ever again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Never use that term. Muscle cluck
Never
is a
say
bad
it.
word.
Really awful, really awful. Right, so on to the most important bit of today's show, which you've kind of already answered, really, which is why I thought you'd be perfect to get on this episode to talk about it. We've had a question sent in from Kino, age 6, which is a very cool name. Well done, Kino.
That is a cool name.
And Kino would like to ask if we will ever be able to time travel.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. In fact, it's this is so strange. I had to come back and do this podcast because we're actually stuck in a time loop thing where I have to fulfill this. But after Kino listens to this podcast, they actually go out and invent time travel, which is how I'm able to travel in time.
Whoa, what Kino does?
Yeah. And so the only way I'm able to come back and answer this question for Kino is by using the time travel technology that Kino will one day invent.
That's amazing. And how long have we got? Because Kino's age 6 right now. Sort of roughly how long have they got?
10 years.
Oh,
Kino
wow,
was
that's
16 when they invent time travel. Yeah.
That's not bad for a 16-year-old. That's very smart indeed.
They've retired already in the future.
That's
They're
incredible.
like a
And
millionaire.
found it by accident or on purpose? What's happened there?
On purpose. It was actually part of a school project, which no one thought that they would be able to pull off. But they got an A+ as well, so that they might be happy to hear that.
I'm very pleased to hear that. That sort of sounds deserved, really. And I guess it was a school project. Does everyone sort of learn to time travel using things like cardboard tubes and bits of pasta stuck to pictures, or what do they do?
Yeah, there's a lot of rubber bands, a lot of paper clips. I don't know entirely how it works. I just use it. It's a bit like a car. Some people can drive a car, but they couldn't build one. So I'm not sure what entirely goes into it. But it was made out of recycled bits and pieces, so it was things just lying around the house or in various bins.
That's great. That's really good. And is it?
So I actually suggest that Kino should start looking through bins now to get ideas. So and if anyone tells you off, you can say, well, it's so I can invent time travel.
I think it's really important. I think, along with the other brilliant advice that you've given on today's episode, I think
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
definitely rummage through bins. And I'd like to ask, is it worth it? I mean, you've mentioned that you like going to the future. Is there cool stuff there? Have you popped to the past at all? What's been the sort of highlights of your trip so far?
Oh, well, technically now is the past for me because I'm originally from the future. That's how I was able to use the technology. I came back here because I just like the simpler times, you know,
Sure.
and I find the people very interesting around now. Plus, also by today's standards, I'm really smart, but in the future, I'm very very dumb. So I like coming back, and everyone thinks that I'm really clever, but back in the future, I uh, everyone thinks I'm very very stupid.
Oh no! And what are you coming back? Are there things like now in today's world that you particularly enjoy coming back for? Are there things that I don't know, like fruit tubes, cheesy crisps? There must be some things that you don't have in the future that's like I'm pleased to go back and eat those.
Yeah, actually, well, we've got everything in the future plus more because they've found really good ways of recreating things that create a lot less waste. So it's actually very abundant in the future because they've been able to do that. I don't know how to do it because, as I said, in the future, I'm very stupid and they're very smart. But I really like fidget spinners and slime. So I came back to now because that's when it's really easy to get hold of those things. Whereas in the future, if you play with slime or a fidget spinner, everybody thinks you're an idiot.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
I can't believe only clever people play with fidget spinners and slime. I'm sure that's what I've
Yeah.
heard.
It's like if you went back, 10 or 20, well, it's like if you went back 20 years from today, if you went back to the late 90s or early 2000s and you played with a yo-yo, then everyone would be like, ah, that's really cool. But today, if you played with a yo-yo, everyone would be like, psh.
Oh wow! And what are people playing with in the future? Do they have something advanced like a fidgety slime or something?
Yeah, it's mainly in it's like a virtual reality bell.
Right.
Yeah. So you can ring the bell as loud as you want, but it's in virtual reality, so no one else can hear it. I don't
That's
know. They're
amazing.
really into it. I don't get it. I think it sounds silly.
Wow. Yeah, that's so just ringing bells, but in the computer.
Yeah, they're really big. They're like church bells.
Right. Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, everyone would like to ring a church bell, and why wouldn't you choose to if you could access anywhere in the world sort of virtually? Why wouldn't you ring a
Well,
church
I
bell?
tried to do it, but then when I went to pull the big rope that the bell was on, it turned out I was just pulling down my curtains, and then I got in a lot of trouble. And then,
Ah.
I did it in the bathroom. Turns out I was just turning the lights on and off.
Wow. Oh, that's a real shame. That's a real shame.
Yeah.
And now you've got no curtains and your lights
I've
are always
broken
on.
the light in the bathroom. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a real
Yeah.
shame. Well,
So
but
that's why
I
I'm back
suppose
here now in
all
2020.
yeah, all these things take getting used to. I'm sure all of these things you have to adapt to, and I'm pretty sure just by listening to this, children everywhere will know they have to practice pulling on things in case they are a bell in a virtual landscape.
Yeah. Yeah. So if there's any takeaways from today's episode, it's pull on stuff in case it's a bell. Uh um look in bins. So because one day you might need to build a time machine.
Yep.
Don't put a computer in the bath.
No,
Listen to me making the noise. In fact, make that, if you've got a parent that has a ringtone or something like that, make that the ringtone. Make that your little project right now.
that's nice. That's nice. And
Yeah.
don't
So
feed
every time
oil
their
to
phone
ducks
rings, it
as
just
well.
goes. Yeah, don't feed oil to ducks. In fact, just leave them be. Don't chase them either, because if you antagonize them, then they sort of go like like Transformers, and they're huge and very scary. So yeah, never scare a duck. That's probably my biggest advice for today.
Never scare a duck, and I think that's advice that we can all really take on board. At the moment, children might not be getting to see ducks very often, probably for the best, to be honest. Otherwise, they
Mm,
might sort of hack your toaster or whatever it is that robots do nowadays. So, very sensible advice. Never scare a duck. Thank you so much for that,
What
Bec.
happens if you have your toaster hacked?
I think they can sort of like slightly change how toasted your bread is.
Oh, okay. It's
So
not
you'd be like, I always like it on a
shoots
3,
toast at
and
your
they'll.
face or something.
I mean, maybe they make the toaster like go on its side so that when it pops, it like pops straight into your eyes, which would be
but
amazing.
What if you just stood up a little bit so that it pops straight into your mouth?
That's such a clever idea, and that's why humans will always win.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, that's how breakfast works in the future.
Is it?
Walk into the kitchen. Good morning. Mouthful of toast.
Wow, even if you don't want a mouthful of toast.
Yeah, it's actually a problem for a lot of people, especially if you're gluten-free.
Yeah, that's going to be quite awkward. It's quite aggressive. I mean, sometimes I almost would like a cup of coffee or tea before I have my toast, and actually to walk in and suddenly, you'd be like, oh, hang on a minute, I didn't want my toast just yet.
Well, we don't drink coffee or tea in the future because of all the burns. You'd walk in, good morning, and then just coffee and tea in the face, and everyone decided that was too dangerous, so they stuck to toast.
Sure. So I'm guessing like fried eggs are out as well.
No, actually, fried eggs are encouraged because if you can get them shot at the right angle, you can make a smiley face on your belly.
That's quite incredible. That's the future breakfast. Sounds really amazing and terrifyingly dangerous. Cool. Well, thank you so much, Bec. You've given us so much advice, and I think you've answered Kino's question very succinctly, actually, and I think not succinctly, very comprehensively. So hopefully that will cheer him right up. And just, are you about to pop back to the future now? Are you going to the past for a little bit? The past, or what are you up to?
No, I don't go into the past. I think it's really boring. I already knows what happens. So
because of your historian nose, of course,
that's right, so I think I'm gonna stick around here for a little bit, and then I know I might occasionally pop to the future if I want to smell like cookies.
That sounds lovely. Well, good luck with that, and speak to you soon.
Thanks, Tiernan. I'll say hi to your grandkids for you.
Wow, how amazing was that? We got to speak to a proper time traveller today. I mean, I'm also a time traveller, but I'm not very good at it like Bec is. I just travel in time forwards, by the second, like most of us do. It's not very good, but you can have a go if you want. Check this. Hey, I'm in the future. Oh, no, wait, no, now I'm in the future. Oh, wait, no, now I'm in the future again. And I mean, you can keep doing that, but it takes a long time for robots to appear. So, Kino, I hope that answered your question, and thank you for sending it in, and thanks tons to Bec for answering it. If any of you other lot what listen to this also have anything at all that you need to ask, then I'm afraid you'll have to speak to the manager. Ha! I joke. What you can do is ask those gawky, clumsy balloon things with faces, grown-ups, to help you. Email me your question or questions at podcast@comedyclub4kids.co.uk, and I'll find a funny person to answer it. Please also ask those grown-ups to make sure you're subscribed to the show and give it a review on wherever they get their podcasts from. Unless it's from the garden, because then that's not a podcast. That's just like some mud or something, or maybe the aforementioned spider who's actually the manager, and don't leave a review on him or you won't be allowed back at the restaurant. See you next time for more noises, and don't forget to leave those 0 to 5-year-olds alone, as they are very, very busy, Okay? Okay. Bye! You have been listening to Comedy Club for Kids presents Radio Nonsense! Radio Nonsense! Radio Nonsense! Radio Nonsense! Radio Nonsense! It's the end.